straight to the point, because a lot of them don't want to read much. They're just like, yep, nope, whatever it is. Okay, straight to the point, comprehensive. It's another thing that it probably needs to be.
Showing profit margins, like
put your financials in it. Exactly. Hello, welcome. So we're going to talk about money because they all want to know about money. Everybody likes that. Still haven't hit on one thing that it should be. You said short. Yeah, I mean, shorten the version. What'd you say? Brief. It should be convincing and compelling. If you got this one shot, it better be a call to action. Like, they have to read more. They want to read more. This is your commercial for the whole business plan. Okay? Oh. It's okay. So this is your commercial for the whole business plan. This is what you want them to see, and that's it. So this Thursday, remember, we said we may have some potential donors, et cetera, that come here. We also may have some potential investors that come here to do a little mixing and mingling. We don't know for sure who's coming and who's not, but if you get a moment to give them a one-pager that they could take home with them, that's kind of cool, So that's where this can all lead to that. So while it is a summary of everything, it's also your potential one shot. A lot of you did the pitch competition. You get one shot, right? And that pitch competition, which y'all get 5 minutes?
3.
Okay. For questions. Okay, so you had 3 minutes to pitch. That's about an executive summary if you think about it. If you were to read that, that's about 3 minutes. Okay. You should also, especially for those of you who already have a pitch, start figuring out how to do a 30-second version of that pitch. Oh, I know. You know what? Y'all all say, oh. However, when I go to the Women's Business Enterprise actual meeting and I get to sit down with Macy's and all that, you get 60 seconds to speak. That's it. And they're supposed to cut you off, but I haven't had anybody that's like, but there's a table of people, and in order to get to every person, you're held to a quick time. So you need to be able to get that pitch down to, I would say, a 30-second version and a 60-second version. Okay? The 60-second is when you get to sit down with, like I sit down with Macy's or Target and I want to pitch my product. 30-second, why do you think you need to have a 30-second version in your pocket?
That's like the elevator.
People don't have time.
That's like the
elevator
from one floor to the next floor, just to say
we're busy.
That's exactly what they call the elevator pitch. You need to make it really quick, that you can do it in the elevator. If you got in the elevator with Mark Cuban, it was like, oh, here we go. Okay. Another reason you should have that 30-second and have it almost conversational is because, let's say on Thursday you meet somebody and they're like, so tell me about your business. They don't want the 3-minute stand up there and pitch. They just want you to say, yeah, my name is Daria and I make these intention jars, and they're there, it's like quick, conversational, and something to spark a conversation about that business and keep going. So when I'm just saying all that to say, when you're writing your executive summary, this is when you're taking your whole business plan, putting it into a short form, and seeing how you're going to speak it to everyone. Okay? All right, so I'm going to change companies. I just want to go here to show, you're going to go to the top, the whole tab we've been skipping every time, and go to executive summary. All right, so here's what I did a little while ago. I went, all right, I've been using this to work on all our stuff. I showed you how AI worked. So the very first part was the problem worth solving. And so I went and I started reading it, and I thought, all right, this was good, but how in the world would I cut this down? Because I was reading it like, I don't want to cut anything, right? So what I did, I actually copied the whole thing. And then I went to it. So I want you to kind of look and just kind of take a glance through some of the things we wrote about the demand and, the importance of understanding evolving customer preference. There's a lot that's written, right? Okay, so just kind of see everything that's written. What I ended up doing was copy and pasting it as is into my executive summary. And then I hit the button that says rewrite, shorten. And it gave me one paragraph. And that's all I need for my executive summary. It took that whole section. And when I read it, I was like, yeah, that summarized that whole section pretty well when I read it. So let's go back and I'm going to show you exactly. We'll do one of these. I'm going to go with, let's see here. Okay. I'm going to take our market size and segment and do that one because this is a really nice, robust section. I'm going to head back to my plan to the executive summary. And there's one section for market. And I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to hit rewrite, shorten, and it should, hopefully.
Mhm.
That's it. It's my one paragraph that I need in my market section for the executive summary.
Mm.
So the only reason this works so well is because of all the work we put in to get to this point. If you're trying to start from the executive summary, which some people do, I have never taught it that way to say, hey, always start with your executive summary and expand. If we started that way, I'd be having to come up with a bunch of stuff right now, okay? You guys have a bunch of stuff for your business already. You can start doing this right into your executive plan. And if any of you don't have the software set up yet, I don't know if everybody, does everybody, do you have it? You don't have it? You don't have it? Okay. I was going to say, some of you who did, like, went straight to the Women of Color Incubator and stuff like that, let's get you set up in a few minutes with your own software, okay? It's free of charge. It's the most amazing software in the world. If you didn't see the financial section, I want to give you like a little refresher on the financials because the financial section is one of the best I've ever seen for developing a business plan because that's scary. All right, so I'm going to put that right into my plan. All right, so I'm going to say this is now finished. Yay, got some confetti. Love all the new additions they've done. So what it's doing right now is creating my executive summary. I'm going to take a look at it as a PDF.
So once we change it there, we put it into our plan, so then that our plan is more precise.
So now if you look, so I have my executive summary. So far, it's just 2 paragraphs. But what that 2 paragraphs is doing is summarizing, I gotta get to the next
What you
plan.
had.
There we go. Summarizing pages and pages. Look, that was, the solution when we get into the market. And so this is all very important information. Like, don't think for a moment all these pages of stuff is just there as filler. It's very important. But the executive summary has to be right here. So that's what it's doing, is just summarizing all these pages and pages of business plan.
But once you put it into the plan,
Mhm.
you no longer have those pages and pages and pages, right?
You're still going to have the pages and pages
Oh,
and
you
pages.
still have that.
So this is a real plan right here, okay? I could have a cover sheet, and I'll show you how to make it fancy and all that in just a moment. But so the executive summary is here, okay? But then it's going to stop
Okay.
and start with the actual real plan, and that's
Okay.
where the real plan begins.
Okay.
So you could cut it out and send somebody just the executive summary,
Mhm.
which sometimes that's all they're asking for.
Mhm.
Or you can keep it in your plan and it'll just be like, here's the first part, now read everything else.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
bankers are going to want to read more.
Mhm.
Potential business partners are going to read more. You could have more for just their employees to read, to understand where you stand in the marketplace. Because anybody that's going to go out and sell your products, they need to understand everything that's here. Like, why is it important? What are they doing? So yes, you keep both stays in there.
So you mean you hit that button to say put it in my plan? It's putting it in your summary part.
It's putting in the
your
executive
executive
summary
summary
tab.
part.
But when you do the download and print the entire plan, it all stays.
Okay. All right.
Now, I'm going to go all the way to the financials. I think we did the financials on this one. We've really done a lot in here.
Yeah.
This has all been over the course of a term. Okay, so we're almost there. We still have a lot to go, as you can see. Okay, I don't have the financials in this one. Okay. I do have the financials in a different company that I worked on, I think, last
This is
term.
through UMES?
Yeah. We pay for it. So if you come Thursday, there's going to be a donor here. He says he's coming, Mr. Tom Baxter. he has donated all money for programming for the first 3 years of operation. So he comes here, you would never know to meet him. He's the nicest man. Very, you would never know that his status, I guess you would say. And he has been very generous in donations. And he also is looking for new businesses, So because of his generosity, we pay for this for every person who wants to work within our system. You can have access to this as long as you would like, even once you graduate. If it gets to the point where I'm seeing like maybe a year has gone by and you haven't touched it, what I'm going to say is, hey, can we deactivate your company to give somebody else a license, but it's still saved here? What you can do at any time is export it as a PDF, and I really recommend exporting it as a Word doc too, because you could always work on things later down the line. Okay. The really cool thing here, you can actually choose a theme. So if you have a logo, cover sheet, so we'll go ahead and let's make something. Let's see.
The Manhattan looks so nice to me.
What's that?
The Manhattan one, like the
Oh,
brownish.
okay, well, let's do Manhattan. Okay. So now you can see it's going to give us a preview here of what it's going to look like. And it's going to theme through here. So if you have colors for your company, I really recommend doing that. I have to say for one of my logos, I just had 2 logos developed. It wasn't until the second one that I got smart and said, hey, can you give me the codes for the colors? Always do that. If you decide to get a logo done, always ask them for the font that was used and the colors that they use. And they should give you a file that says, here's the fonts, here's the colors. And so now I have so there's something called a hex code when you're doing colors. You've probably seen it at the bottom if you're doing a color picker. I know my hex codes. I can tell you my green is 009444.
And it makes a difference, honestly, because I've made like logos and flyers, and then I didn't copy the color code, and then it was slightly off, and it was
And you can tell the difference. I'm going to show you something from my own website. Okay, so this is a good example of it. I didn't know my colors. And we're going through rebranding right now, but these are all my old labels. You can see the light green, dark green. Had my boxes printed, whole different green. That's the importance of knowing exactly your color for your company. So, so if you're looking to do that, so this is my new color, my new logo. Actually, here it is. Here's the new logo. That is 009444. There you go. This one's a weird one. It's 6DEJ72, something like that. And so it's harder for me, but this one I know. Yeah, so you can just see, look at the color difference. There we go. Good showing of color differences, which drives me crazy.
The product images are great, by the way.
I thought it was intentional.
Thank you. No, no. Let me show you
that body butter, like, just,
Hang on. Yes. Can I tell you how happy I am every time there's like an iPhone update of like better cameras?
Yeah.
Yes, I do love the pictures.
And you took these with your phone.
Yes.
Oh, wow, nice.
And you know what? I have an extra photo studio I'm gonna bring here, which is just a white box. So if you have products that you need to take images, I'll bring, I have an extra one. So I'm just gonna bring it here and put it in the maker space so you can take your images. If you're gonna do this yourself, I highly recommend you learn Photoshop and learn it well enough to be somewhat proficient without getting aggravated, I guess you would say.
YouTube, really.
YouTube is great. We're also going to start some lessons in here. We were just coming up with next term's classes.
Please.
So not only are we going to do these kind of things, we want to do how to learn all the software, all the equipment that's in there. So that's coming up.
Mhm.
Hang on. Here we go. This is the new branding that I'm doing. So it's got the new colors involved, new branding. So I'm slowly but surely going to replace everything on that website. But let me tell you, with the new iPhone capabilities, you can take a photo on your phone. I'm sure you've seen this. Pop the photo out, so you no longer have to eliminate your own background. That was life-changing for me when they started that. Save it as an image. It's already on a white background. what I do in Photoshop every time is then I do a drop shadow layer just to give it some dimension, because when you don't, it kind of, it doesn't look as good. Okay, where, goodness, did we go down a path here?
I was invested.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna tell you one more thing. If you're ready to have if you don't have a logo yet, or you're like, hey, I have a logo, but it needs to be better or designed better, Design Hill. Let me show you. I've used their service 3 times now. Oops. Where am I? Missing the enter button?
Is it down too far?
Oh, there, I did there. Okay. Design Hill is a fantastic website for getting a logo done. You can do it in 2 different ways. Number one, you can do an AI generated logo. It's going to cost you a lot less. I will tell you from experience, they're not as good. It's kind of like still relying on your graphic design ability. What I did, and I've done this twice now, or 3 times now, is you host a contest. The minimum is $250, but that is a very good price for design service. You host a contest, you say how many days it runs, you say, you give a couple parameters. I usually run mine for the recommended 3 to 4 days. In those 3 to 4 days, I had 215 submissions. It got to the point of I had to narrow down to the 5 best logos that I couldn't decide between and let my customers help me choose which one it was going to be. It is amazing because these are designers from around the world. My winning designer was in Pakistan. Very easy to work with, but it just, you have something in your head, and sometimes it's hard to get around what's in your head. They come up with stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, that was brilliant. If you've seen the Zengrove logo out on the wall, that's another one of mine. When he came up with the Z and the G with the leaf, I was like, that's what I wanted. I just didn't know I wanted it. Same thing for my bounce back. I needed a logo. I wanted a logo mark, you know, is what they call it. Sort of like Swish for Nike, you know, things like that. That's what they came up with.
So once they create it, you own it?
You own it. So when you award it, there's a whole legal process that happens. Design Hill's very good at that handoff, at making sure they have an NDA. You can say, I want them to have an NDA, so that non-disclosure agreement. So if you have a product you're bringing to market that you don't want them to ever talk about, or to say that they did your logo. Yep.
All that is included in that fee?
Yeah. Like, wow. So, and you could, actually, I want to say that 250 was like the middle of the line contest. You can go a little cheaper. You won't get as many submissions. The 250 one, I've had some, and you can even go higher. You can say what the award's going to be. Yeah. And then if you want to hire them further to help your business cards or whatever else, you can do that too. So, but at this stage, you know, I want you to be thinking about, you need a logo. You need something to visually, even if it's just the name of the company stylized, you need to have something to grab onto. You know, what are you going to put on a t-shirt? What are you going to put, you know, what are you going to embroider on your shirt once we get the embroidery working? What are you going to, you know, you're going to have that.
So just confirmation, these rooms that have these, they're open for us to use.
So you wouldn't walk in and just use it. So we have, we still have 2 of our assistants in the back of the room here who are working on different tasks right now. Right now we have 3, I think, across the hall, possibly 2. They are learning the equipment. Yeah, 3. Okay. So what's going to happen is when we get to next term and they know the equipment, you can go in and say, hey, we need this done. They're going to help you through it. Okay. For instance, right in the back of the room is the UV printer. You don't just hit print and go, here we go. Doesn't work. Okay. I wish it did, because there are so many things that we have that you get fails and things like that with your equipment, which is really bad. It's not as user friendly as you would hope. But yes, every entrepreneur can come in. If you're ready to try to get a product to prototype, we'll help you get up to 5 different products ready to go. She's making me laugh. It's okay. We'll help you get up to 5. The reason we say 5 is because if you're going to go present to somebody, you don't need more than 5 samples. okay? We're not a print shop. We can't do mass production. It doesn't work. Our equipment's not even made for that. We are getting, and I know we have like makeup, stuff like that. You
You might
might,
tell me like a lab too, I can procure my own cosmetics.
to create them, like the chemical creation wouldn't be able to happen here. I have a place you might be able to rent.
I actually just got into a STEM program.
Oh, did you? Oh, good job. Good job. Yeah, well, no, let's all celebrate. Yay. But I wanted to box your intention jars. Like, they're ready for shelf-ready products. We're getting a new machine that'll pull material in, die cut, print all at once, cut it out so that we fold it. It's a nice box to go on the shelf for retail box. So that will be, we're just placing the orders for that. We're getting a milling machine to create 3D items. Not that you would print, but that you would cut away. So it'd be made out of aluminum, wood, whatever you're looking for with that. That's on its way. I feel like there was one more new piece.
That was it.
That was it.
Just the more clear touch.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we have 2 more, but the retail ready product things, I'm very excited about the new machinery that's coming in. If you currently make cosmetics and you need to label, we can help you with that. That is easy. So as you go along, if you're like, hey, I have this product, like if you need specialty bug packaging, we can look at that. Oh, the vacuum former. That's another one that's coming.
I wasn't sure how far you made it, and I assumed that was the first one.
No. So the vacuum former, the packaging. Okay, vacuum former. You know how when you get an item and it comes with like a blister pack or clear packaging on top, we're gonna have that machine here so that we can help you, so that you can do that as well. So it'll all be coming over the next 6 months, hopefully. We'll get
We'll
it all
get
here.
email notifications when the stuff is in and ready to be used.
When it's ready to be used, you're gonna get, so we're gonna be transitioning to a new software, so not this stuff you see behind you, the startup tree, we're getting rid of that one. We're transitioning to a new one called CoWorks. It's mobile friendly. You'll be able to book time in the lab. You'll be able to do all sorts of things, and also on that new CoWorks will be classes. So when we do the class on how to do laser engraver, how to do, whatever, you'll see it's listed under the events. And then we're also we're working on the rooms up here. So let's say, Ebony, you're ready to go, you leave here, but you still need an office space, or you need to meet with somebody and you want to be in a professional space. That next room is going to be set up with new furniture that's being picked out now by one of our lovely student assistants, where you can book time in that room. Like, I need to book the office from 2 to 3 p.m. today. Cool, you can do that. So we'll have all of that available over the next couple months.
Awesome.
I know.
I think I seen your building in town because I seen Fluffy Physics. I said Fluffy Physics.
It's literally right here.
It's not over there. It's on the sign. It used to be a restaurant.
Yeah.
Used to be,
That's-
Yeah, Leo's Pizza.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you
I
go
can
around
go
the
around on
roundabout.
campus. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
there somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you need a space for making stuff, I know a space, But yeah, it's right there. If you ever look at it, here. All right, now we've really gone far.
Sorry.
But no, that's okay, because this is sort of the wrap-up time anyway. All right, okay, I was gonna do this and show you. Okay, so now if we do the download and print, let's see, setup, we got the chapters, the appendix. Oh, here we go. Make sure we include the cover page. Oh, look, I can put my website. Definitely the wrong email, but there. Okay, so I'm gonna say I want all that on my cover page. You can say what else you want to change. Okay, it should now. It should give us a cover page. If it doesn't, no, where is it? I've got the cover page selected. I said I wanted one. Okay, well, normally, try one more time, and that's it. All right, I'm sure I'm just skipping one small step. Anyway, it'll include your cover page, it'll include all your financials and everything else that you need to do. When we talk about the executive summary, we said it was important to tell the financials. You're not telling everything. What do you think you want to tell so far as financials in the executive summary? No, not how much it's going to cost.
Potential profit.
Potential profit. That's what that's what you want to see, is not how much you're going to spend, or how much money, not even how much money you're asking the investor for. Instead, you want to show, we're going to, like, this is flat. You would never show this. We want to show increases in revenue. So however you have to, I don't want to say spin it, but sometimes it's about spending it. So let's say, all right, let me give you an example. You have a company where you have no overhead at all. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to pay any expenses. Let's say you go and you're a consultant and you just go to places, no expenses, okay? I can easily show my revenue going up. I can also show my net profit going up. Another scenario, let's say you bought a building and you did that day one, and I have to pay staff, and I have to make a product. I have to pre-buy all my inventory. There's a good chance I'm not going to want to show net revenue. You know why? I mean, not net revenue, net profit. I'm not going to want to show net profit because I'm not going to have a profit. Instead, I can show my revenue going up and just ignore the expenses for now. Don't put that in your executive summary. Put that in the plan, because we're not lying. We're going to show everything. But you want to show whatever makes your company look the best. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because, I mean, sometimes, if you start a business that has a lot of upfront expenses, that's not beautiful on a financial sheet. I'll tell you from like my experience, it's not pretty. But if you can show your potential revenue, if you haven't done a business yet, you have no profit yet, you're not showing them, when they ask you for your financial records, you don't have any. So you're going to give them what's called a pro forma. And the pro forma, for those of you who didn't see the financial time, that's when you put in your projected revenues and your projected expenses. Everything is projected. So think pro forma, projected. So if you're brand new and you have a pro forma, they're going to see about a 3 to 5 year pro forma. Okay, this can help create that pro forma. So for everybody that doesn't have their company yet set up in here, well, first of all, we'll do that. And then secondly, if you want like a 1 hour tutorial on how to do it, I could either do it via Google Meet or we could do it face to face. But because we won't really have another lesson on the software until February. Yeah, it's like first week of February, I think. Yeah. So especially if you want to work on this over break.
Yeah.
And so let's get your company set up and you're like, hey, I don't know how to do this. And if at any time, any of you say, hey, I need like just a half hour of your time, you at the bottom of my emails, there's like a Calendly link or the QR code that's right behind Simone here at Goldman. That's to book like a half hour with me. And we can just talk about your business, or like you're stumped on something or whatever it is. I had somebody come in for one question once. So she could have done my email, but he wanted to show me his stuff and ask one question. That's okay. All right. So what questions do you have concerning any of this process? Because now we've looked at the entire process of building this business plan. And for those of you who've done it for quite a bit, like it should be looking fairly robust by now. So it might just be about fine tuning it.
Yes.
For you guys, it's going to be about building it. But if you already have anything written down anywhere, which I know you do,